Hello and welcome to BIZ Inbox. I'm Em Vernen, and today I am thrilled to be joined by an absolute powerhouse in the entrepreneur world, Sarah Davidson. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on today. I am very, very excited.
Oh, Em, thank you for having me. I am equally as excited, and I feel like there's some mutual fangirling going on right now.
There is absolutely no way this is mutual because your career compared to mine, like we just need to break this down because you will definitely know Sarah from her brilliant podcast, Seize the Yay. But what's truly fascinating is how she completely transformed her life, swapping her career as a corporate lawyer to become the founder of her own wildly successful retail brand and emerging as one of Australia's most influential voices in entrepreneurship. Sarah is here to share some wisdom about embracing the unexpected and how sometimes having no plan can actually turn out to be the best plan of all. Oh my God, I am so excited. I can't believe, I feel like everyone always forgets you used to be in corporate law.
Yeah, even I forget sometimes until we get an opportunity like this. You know, when someone else reads your bio, it just has this extra, like, nice panache that it doesn't have when you say it yourself. And
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
who is that they're talking about?
Oh my God. I don't think anyone's ever read my bio. Mine would be like, Em Burnham, she sometimes likes to work, she sometimes doesn't. Here she is.
Good lurker. I'll endorse you for the lurking. It's a great skill, you know. In this day and age, lurking is peak talent.
Yeah,
So
it's a bit pervy.
bit pervy. I call it thorough. I think there's a marketing spin for
Okay.
every
Yeah, yeah,
skill.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'd call that thorough. Good researcher, pays attention to detail.
Good. Oh my God.
You got to put a
Yes.
spin on it. Put your best foot
Okay, these are the
forward.
words I need. This is smart. I'm writing this down already. Like, this is exactly what we need. In these Biz Inbox episodes, it's our very own Ask Us Anything. So you can get all of your career advice without your boss or colleagues ever finding out if you don't want them to. We will keep you completely anonymous.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have wanted to call in many times. So the fact that I get to be here is so exciting. And this week, I'll be sharing how to make those dreaded tell us a fun fact about yourself moments actually
Mhm.
fun. Plus, we will tackle a big dilemma about career pivots. But first, let's chat about those tricky job interview questions that always make you second guess yourself.
So we got this sent on our DMs by Charlie, and she says, I keep getting asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years in interviews? And honestly, I never tell the truth because, like most people my age, I probably won't be at the company for that long. What are recruiters really looking for with this question? Are they checking if I'm ambitious enough or want management, trying to show they care about my career journey, or just testing if I can politely fib about my commitment? It feels so outdated for 2025. How should I handle these predictable questions without sounding fake? I never know how to answer this question ever.
I love this question
Ever.
because I think it is so
Do you?
I don't love the question from recruiters, but I love the question in the DMs because I think so many people wonder that these days.
Mm.
How do you gently yeah, fib about your level of commitment? And I think you're right. I think it is a bit outdated for this day and age to sort of ask about the 5-year plan because not everyone necessarily has one, and we don't the world changes so rapidly. We're meant to have sort of 12 to 15 careers in our lifetime now. It's a really
Yeah.
kind of an outdated question. But I think most recruiters are aware of that rapid pace of careers. I don't think they expect you to say, look, in 5 years, I probably will have moved on. I don't think they want that level of honesty from you. But I think it is possible
Yeah.
to answer authentically and acknowledge that, you know, your 5-year plan is uncertain, but also show commitment at the same time. I think they're not necessarily looking for someone who will last 25 years, but they're looking for someone who can show they have ambition right now and that they can have commitment right now. So I think
Mm.
it still pays to show that you've researched the company and have got, you know, a list of ways you could grow within their company and within the advertised role. You can still show that you have long-term goals that align with the business and why you'd make a valuable contribution. I think you can do that without saying I'm going to be here in 50 years time. I think there is a nice middle ground without lying
Yeah.
and feeling fake.
Okay, this landed in our DMs recently, and it's an anonymous question, which is my favorite one because they're extra juicy. And it says, I've been working in corporate finance for 7 years, and while I'm good at it, I'm completely unfulfilled. I've been studying part time to become a clinical psychologist. Oh, good for you. And it's something I've always been passionate about. But the thought of leaving my secure 6-figure job for years of additional training and starting over terrifies me. How did you know it's the right time to make the leap? What ducks should I have lined up? And what advice would you give someone standing at the edge of a major career pivot that feels meaningful but incredibly risky? Oh, this is a good one. I love this.
Ooh.
I feel like you're perfectly suited to answer this question.
I definitely remember being at that crossroads. And honestly, this point in time is my favorite time to encounter someone and to get to chat to them, because I feel like it's a real pivotal time. You can either go towards the risk or you could easily shy away from it. And I think obviously we all
Mm,
have a really different risk tolerance. And the most important thing to remember is that the right time is going to be different for everyone. So it does require, like, as much as I want to say, leave your job, take the leap, I think you do have to have a really honest evaluation of what your risk matrix looks like. So, you know, when I left, I had no mortgage, I had no kids, sure, it was risky to walk away from my legal career, but overall my commitments were pretty, I could minimize the risk quite a lot. And
mm,
my best advice is minimize the risk as much as you can so the leap is as small as possible. So, if you do have a side hustle,
right.
stay in it as long as you can until you need to go full
Hmm.
time. You don't necessarily need to jump straight away. On the flip side, I think if you have looked at your financial position, you do have some savings. Sure, you might be leaving a bit of security or you might be leaving a 6-figure job, but I make decisions based on future regret management. What will future me regret more? Will they regret trying and seeing, or will they regret never taking the
Mm,
chance and never knowing? And I think most of us would rather try and see, because you can always go back. You forget that you can always just
yeah.
go back to where you were before. I think it's better to once you've taken account of your responsibilities, give it a go. You'll be so surprised what you can make work and how much more capable you are than you think.
Oh, that is such an exciting answer. Also, to jump off that, do you think there's a such thing as you're too old to change careers?
Oh my gosh, never, never. And I think I can't think off the top of my head, but go and Google the people who started their careers sort of later in their life, like 60s, 70s, people who we know of now as like the absolute leader and shining star of their industries. A lot of them only came to that industry later in life, which are just like, I think maybe Vera Wang was one of them. I think she only started designing at 40, or I can't think of the list, but go and Google it
Mm,
for reassurance that it is never too late. And the quote I always come back to is, in 10 years from now, you'll wish you started today. So really, like, the sooner you can start something that you know you're going to want to have done, the better. Like, why waste a moment
yeah.
wondering when you can go and see? And I think my other big thing that comes up when I saw this question was, when you
Mm,
are about to make a leap, you're going to ask people for advice because it's so scary. Like, you're going to obviously leave a message in the inbox, but you might consult the people around you. Ask the right people. When I was leaving law,
right.
the exact wrong person to ask for advice was other lawyers, because of course they think the
Oh,
same as me. They're the same, they've got the
yeah.
same risk aversion. The people I had to ask was other business people who had left their careers and seen how wonderful it could be. I knew what answer I'd get from which friends of mine, and I asked the ones who I wanted to hear a yes, so I asked the people who would give me a yes.
Oh, that's so good. It's also one of those things where if you're choosing between two different things, you flip a coin for it. And depending on where the coin lands, if it lands on heads but you wanted to land on tails, then you have your answer. Like there's always one side where you want it to land a bit more, and that like gives you the answer. And
Yes.
I think that's like such an exciting answer. Like I'm so excited for this anonymous person. Like I think that's just the perfect answer for them, and I'm really excited to see your like career shift, and I really wish we knew who you were so we could track you. But that's just an exciting answer. I love stuff like that. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most exciting time to encounter someone.
Okay, so I have been working for 7 years now, and I still haven't worked out the right answer for this one. So, Sarah, this is all on you to do. We got this question from Melissa in Sydney, and she says, I've just started a new job and been asked to share a fun fact about myself for the company newsletter, and I'm completely overthinking it. Should these be work related or personal? How much of my actual personality should I reveal? My previous workplace made us share fun facts in person during meetings where I could at least laugh along and people got my delivery. But a newsletter fun fact feels so permanent and might come across completely wrong without my facial expressions to back it up. What's the sweet spot for a fun fact that makes a good impression without being too much? Now, I don't want to throw Mamma Mia under the bus here, but we do this. It's so funny. It's like we've done it since I started here in like 2018, I think. But before you join the big like company Slack channel and emails and you see everyone, they just announce like all the new starters and they have like a little fun fact. And I remember when I did it was for the newsletter, and I was like, wait, I just have to write a fun fact to like that's going to go out to the masses for people not know. And I had no idea what to write. I can't even remember what I wrote. I think I just wrote something so dumb, like I have two dogs, like something so silly. And then when I joined the company and like I was reading everyone else's fun facts, it would be something like, oh, I explored Europe for 3 years and that's where I met my husband and I had my kids, and I was like, "Oh my god, like this is so embarrassing for me." I do not know how to do this question, but now every time someone does a silly fun fact at Mamma Mia, I am very excited for them.
Oh my gosh. I mean, as a chronic oversharer who hasn't worked in a corporate environment in a while, I might not be the safest person to ask this
Oh my
question.
god. Sarah, I reckon you should just send yourself a fun fact about yourself every day so you know
Yeah.
how traumatizing it is doing this.
I'm just going to circulate it internally to myself for the full team to enjoy. I mean, I may be a bit skewed
Uh.
towards a higher level of fun than the average workplace, but I think it depends. It definitely depends on the environment you're going into, the industry, the type of office. Like you can probably get a bit of a gauge from the role and the company that you're at, what their accepted level of fun would be. I definitely would
Mm,
err on the side of caution. Like I would, if you're doubtful about whether or not, I think the way this was worded, the question, if you're doubtful that they'll understand it without your facial expressions as a backup, I wouldn't use that fun fact. Like if you're
yeah.
wondering, then probably just don't use it. I'd definitely go
Don't
something
risk
that,
it.
yeah, don't risk it because you never know who will see it. But I also think don't go too safe either, because the point of it is to start an interesting conversation. It's to seek out the other
Mm,
people in this company who you might not normally get to meet. And it's your chance. It is kind of a chance. You don't get that much airtime on a mass group company Slack, right? Like you don't get that many
yeah.
chances to say something interesting about yourself that isn't your performance or your role. So I would probably pick something non-work related that is actually something interesting about you that you would find, like I would think about who are the kind of people that you want to connect with in your workplace and what are they going to find interesting? Like what is going to make your time at this
Yeah.
company more enjoyable? And it would be to find people who have a common interest. So what's that common interest? So I always answer based on what I want to get out of someone potentially seeing. And like there's so many facts I can think about of things that I've
Ooh.
done that would never come up in the workplace, but I would love other people to know that I've done. Like, volunteering opportunities, or I love languages and travel, so I'd want to find other people who
Mm.
love that, or I'd want to find people in the company who, if they thought about an international travel opportunity, they went, oh, well, she mentioned that she speaks other languages, like that kind of thing.
Smart. Oh my god, so you can use that as a strategy. That's good.
Yeah, and not too convoluted, but I think people are going to
Yeah,
read it
so much better
anyway.
than, like, my colleagues going, "There's that girl who loves those dogs. She loves her dogs so
I
much. She's
mean,
got 2 of
unless
them."
you want to meet I love dogs, unless you want to meet other dog lovers, in which case it was the perfect answer. But I think it can be a wasted opportunity to say something interesting about yourself. Don't waste it, because that's probably the only time the whole company will get to hear from you. So say something interesting. Be memorable.
Ah, that is so good. Thank you so much for helping us clear the biz inbox. If you have a work question, please send it our way. You will find a link to submit your questions in the show notes. You can tell us your name or you can remain completely anonymous. It is your choice.
And if you missed any of our episodes, just scroll back in your feed. We'll be back in the biz inbox next week. Bye.